My name is Freya Mortensen. I am a mindset coach that specializes with empaths. I am an empath myself, and I am here to empower other empaths all around the world. Yes, I am the founder and CEO of Free to Be You Coaching. I do have a 8-week coaching program that is for empathic people to come in, increase their confidence, increase their self-worth, learn healthy boundaries, learn how to be an assertive communicator, and learn how to have healthy relationships, not only just with others, but the most important relationship, that one with yourself. Empaths are very in tune with energy. And I'm going to talk to you about wounded energy. And we have energy that comes to us from our masculine side, and we have energy that comes to us from our feminine side. Whether you're a man or a woman, we have both of these energies in us. It's that yin-yang symbol, right? The dark and the light. We have all of this contrasting energy. And a lot of the energy is coming from a wounded place, and we don't get any results when we're coming from a wounded place. This instruction is going to be very beneficial for you. You're going to gain a lot of self-awareness, and it's going to also give you an idea of, hey, do I need to hire a coach? Do I need to start working with a mentor so that I can get these results that she's talking about? We want to be authentic. We want to be authentic people in the world, right? That's what we're after, authenticity. I just want to be me. That's why I called my coaching practice Free to Be You. Because you are free to be you, but what's holding you back from getting those results of freedom? Freedom to be yourself, to be who you really are on this planet. That's what we're here for. So what happens? Let's go into these wounded attitudes, these wounded feelings that a lot of you are probably carrying with you right now. Guilt, shame, unworthiness, and weak boundaries. Maybe even no boundaries. Okay? These are core emotions that have been formed since childhood. They didn't just pop out of nowhere. They were formed due to your interactions with other humans on this planet, and it created certain beliefs and attitudes that you have as a result, which impacts the way you feel, which impacts the way you feel it in your body, how active you are, and then it yields the results. So typically when people are coming from a place of shame, unworthiness, guilt, weak boundaries, these are very low vibrational feelings. These are coming from the wounded feminine side. These are wounded feminine traits from the feminine energy. And what will happen is you probably will be very inactive. There probably won't be a lot of action going on at all. There's probably very little action and very little results. Nothing's changing in your life. You're wondering, why is nothing changing? Nothing's changing, nothing's changing. Because you keep doing the same thing over and over expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity. You have to do something different to experience something different. But while you're stuck in this, you're not going anywhere. You can't expect any action, any results to come about. What might happen is people might then become very rigid. They become very insecure and anxious and impatient and frustrated with what's going on in life and angry. You know what? Holy, my life is just not going where I want it to go. People are taking advantage of me. There's probably a lot of people pleasing that's going on in this area. There's a lot of codependency that's going on in this area. And what happens is then they start to set very rigid boundaries. They become insecure and anxious and impatient, angry and numbing out, and maybe even isolating themselves. Okay, so now they haven't gotten themselves into any better feelings at all. The body is still shutting down and they're still not getting any results. Results are still not being achieved. This is the wounded masculine side. These are wounded masculine traits. So you've gone from being a wounded feminine trait to now being wounded masculine traits. We need to combine these two in a healthy way. Instead of reaching for the masculine side in an unhealthy way, we have to reach for our masculine traits that are healthy. And what does that look like? Well, that's what we have on the outer sphere. Right? So this is very small and it's in the middle because it's constraint. It's rigid. It's holding you prisoner. to your life, really, is what's happening here, is you are a prisoner to your life. So on the outer edge, what we have here is the healthy energy of feeling confident, of taking responsibility. Now, this is huge, okay? Taking responsibility. A lot of times in here, we also have blame and minimization and denial. People are not taking responsibility for their current situation right here. What's happening in here is people are blaming it on others. If other people would change, if I just made more money, if I just got a better job, if I lived somewhere else, if I got out of this house, if my house was just cleaned up, then I would feel better. Then life would be different. But we're not asking for any help. We're just sitting around hoping that maybe one day something will change. Maybe someone will come over here and rescue me. They're not. You have to rescue yourself. So you have to take responsibility. And this issue of trust, you might in these ones, in this guilt, shame, numbing out, anger, you might not be trusting anybody. And why are you not trusting anybody? You're not trusting anybody because you don't trust yourself. Because you've made some mistakes in life and now you're beating yourself up for it. Guess what? We all make mistakes. It's how we learn. And I encourage you to all go out there and make some big mistakes. Fail at a few things because that's how we grow. That's how we learn to trust ourselves, is by falling down and getting back up and saying, whew, that was really crazy right there, but you know what? I got myself back up and I did a good job, and now I've instilled this trust. I can trust myself to set healthy boundaries now. I can trust myself to not enter these unhealthy relationships anymore. I'm taking responsibility for myself. I am a responsible person because I set healthy boundaries. And you know what? Because I set healthy boundaries, I feel very confident. My confidence is increasing. Holy smokes, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm starting to feel like my real self. Oh my gosh, I lost myself. I totally lost myself in these inner circles, in these toxic, unhealthy relationships that were making me feel this way. I lost my authenticity. I lost my confidence. I stopped taking responsibility for myself and I just started blaming it on everyone else. Stopped trusting myself. I have no idea what boundaries are. I lost my creativity. Being creative is innate in us. Being creative allows us to live a life of abundance. Having an imagination where you can focus on things that you want instead of the things you don't want, because energy will tell you, if you focus on what you don't want, you'll get more of that. If you focus on the things that you do want, you will get more of that. It's the law of attraction. If you are thinking guilty thoughts and shameful thoughts and telling yourself you're unworthy and you have weak boundaries, you will continue to get more of that. Sometimes we have to fake it till we make it. We have to fake this confidence. We have to get inside our heads and say, holy smokes, you know what? I haven't been showing up for myself. So what that other people don't show up for me, but the most important person that needs to show up for me is me. And I stopped showing up for myself. I stopped taking this action over here. I stopped taking action and I stopped getting any results. My life came to a standstill. My life is stuck. And perhaps that's what some of you are feeling right now. Perhaps you're feeling stuck and you don't know how to get out of it. And you're feeling unmotivated and uninspired. Well, I'm here to let you know that you can make major changes. You can reinvigorate yourself. You are a human being. We have this amazing thing in our head called our mind. And our mind is a very powerful tool. And most of us are not using our mind. Most of us are disregarding our mind, thinking that our mind is just running the show and we're not running our mind. Our mind is running us. No, you can take over conscious control of your conscious mind. Intuition. Are you having a difficult time trusting your intuition? Do you not know the difference between your trauma response and intuition? Does intuition sometimes give you anxiety? Do you not trust your intuition? It's because you're stuck in these things. It's because you're stuck in guilt, shame, unworthiness, and a total lack of boundaries. You're feeling very insecure and anxious, so you can't access your intuitiveness. You also can't access your creative life force that you're here for, to express yourself, to put out your passions to the world, to inspire others. I know you want to inspire other people. I know you do. These are the wounded feminine traits. These are the wounded masculine traits. These are the healthy mix of healthy feminine, healthy masculine energy. We are all made up of energy. Do you believe this? Do you know that that's true? We are pure energy. And how does energy work? Energy is constantly in motion, right? It needs to move, it needs to flow. And in order to be successful in life, you have to allow yourself to expand. But if you're in these states, there's no success that's going to come in here. You're going to feel stuck. And so you have to recognize, hey, what are the thoughts that I'm having about myself? What do I think about myself? What do I think about other people? Do I count myself? And do I count others? Or do I just count me and I don't give a shit about other people? No, that's not what we're going for. Do I only count others and not really myself? No, that's not what we're going for either. Well, I don't count myself and I don't give a shit about other people either. No, that's also not what we're going for. What we're going for is a global win-win. I matter and so do you. And setting boundaries is a loving action. It's a win for me to set a boundary. And whether or not you believe it or not, or you see it or not, or you recognize it or not, it's also a win for you when I set a boundary with you. Because when I set a boundary with you, it means that you matter to me. Because if I didn't care about you, I'd just cut you right off. I just treat you like shit. A boundary is a loving action. So if I set a boundary with you, it means you matter to me. And it's your choice how you choose to respond to that. Boundaries are put in place for healthy relationships. I set a boundary with you so that I feel comfortable around you. I set a boundary with you because you matter to me and I want to continue spending time with you. And in order for us to continue spending time together, these are the things that I need to have in order to feel safe. And if you can't fulfill that and you can't respect that and you can't honor that, then we're not going to be able to have a healthy relationship. But I'm doing this not just for myself, but I'm doing this for a combined effort, right? This is my effort to interact with other humans. And I know that sometimes as empaths, we don't want to interact with other humans, and we're isolating ourselves, and we're cutting ourselves off from other people. We're being very rigid with our boundaries. We've gone too far into our masculine energy, wounded masculine energy, which is rigid boundaries. Yes, taking action is a masculine, healthy masculine trait, but doing it in a responsible way, doing it in a purposeful way. What ends up happening over the years is you grow to be a people pleaser, to avoid conflict. You don't want to make anyone upset. You want to give everyone what they want. You want to keep other people happy because other people's needs are more important than your own needs. Other people's needs are more important than your own needs. And that's the warning sign. If you're going around and you acknowledge, holy crap, she's right. I do place higher value on other people's needs than my own. Therefore, if I have made someone upset with my boundary, I feel guilty because my needs are not as important as that person's needs are. Guess what? You come first, okay? Your needs matter. Your needs matter. And if somebody else is going to make you feel guilty, no, they can't make you feel anything. You do that to yourself. You make yourself feel guilty because of the way you're thinking, because of the way your attitude is. It makes you feel guilty and you feel it in your body. And what's the action that you take? You don't take any action. And what's the results you get? You stay stuck. This is how it works. I try to set healthy boundaries, but no one listens to them. Yeah, no one's listening to them because you don't trust yourself. No one's listening to them because you're lacking confidence. No one's listening to them because you're not being authentic with yourself. And it starts with yourself. So what you have to do is set personal boundaries. What are the things that I'm going to say are my own personal boundaries, my rules that I have for myself? Okay, this is the time that I will wake up in the morning. This is the type of food that I'm going to feed my body. This is the type of food that I will not feed my body. This is the type of media that I will consume. This is the type of media that I won't consume. This is how much exercise I will be getting every day. And I know that when I don't get exercise, I know what the consequences of that. So I need to move my body every day. I make sure that I tend to having a clean house, and my kitchen must be clean before I go to bed at night. And if it's not, then I must clean it the next day. These are personal rules that you have. I don't hang around people who gossip or who engage in drama. I don't spend time with those kind of people. That's a personal boundary that I have. Hey, we're friends. Just so you know, I don't give my energy to people who are gossipers. So we can still be friends, but when we converse, we're not going to be engaging in that kind of conversation. I don't talk about people behind their back. That's a personal boundary that I have for myself. Like if I'm going on a vacation with someone, I have personal boundaries in terms of I need certain amounts of alone time. I need to have, an hour to myself right now because that's what my personal boundary is. And so I have to communicate that to someone. So it always starts with what the rules are that you have for yourself. And you make sure that you own those rules. If I say, hey, I'm a healthy eater, and I have a boundary and I have rules for myself that I'm a healthy eater, but I'm going and eating a whole bunch of junk food, I just broke my own boundary to myself. Now I don't trust myself anymore because I broke my own boundary. If I say, you know what, I really need to get to bed and get 8 hours of sleep every night, but I'm not. I'm staying up, scrolling mindlessly on TikTok, and I'm only getting 5 hours of sleep. But I go around saying, yeah, I need 8 hours of sleep to function well. But I don't even tend to my own personal boundary. No one's gonna respond to your boundaries when you don't even respond to your own. To make sure that our boundaries not too rigid, some people do need rigid boundaries. People who are narcissistic personality types do need rigid boundaries because those are people who don't respect boundaries. So we do have to be very rigid with them. Otherwise, we want to be able to communicate, this is a need that I have, and I would appreciate that you honored it. And you don't have to like what my need is. It doesn't mean that I'm going to change it. My boundary is my boundary regardless if you respect it or not. But guess what? People that you want in your life are going to be the people that respect your boundary. And people who don't respect your boundary, those are not your people. And they probably also don't have boundaries. They're probably also people who lack healthy boundaries. So you know what you're doing? Is you're actually doing them a favor because you are being a role model. You are teaching them that there are people out there that set boundaries. Yeah, we exist. And you know why we do? Because we know that we can trust our boundaries. We know that our boundaries keep us safe. We know that our boundaries give us confidence and allow us to be our authentic self. We know that we set these boundaries so that we're not sitting with all of this shit. No, we don't want any of that. Our energy needs to expand. Energy flows and grows. And in order for it to flow and grow, we need to allow growth. And we allow growth through setting healthy boundaries. It allows us to feel safe and secure. We don't have to go around feeling anxious and on eggshells all the time.